How do you know if somebody actually wants a commitment the way that you do?
You have the conversation you're too afraid to have right now. The one that you've been putting off because it feels so good to keep enjoying this thing that you don't want to wreck it. You don't want to drive it away. You are afraid that if you have the question, you're going to be seen as difficult. So we don't say it. We're afraid of the effects. And what we think is, by the way, if I could just keep getting closer and closer and closer to this person, if I can make myself indispensable, if I can just get so close that I'm basically, integrated with every part of their life, then essentially they'll see my value. And by the way, they'll start giving as much as I am because they'll realize my value. Unfortunately, the opposite happens is we give and we give and we give and we give, and someone learns that there's absolutely no price to pay for the giving. So everything we give gets completely taken for granted and assumed. And we come to find after months or sometimes years of being in limbo with someone, when we finally say, what is this? They're like, I don't know. And you realize you've wasted all that time and energy, all because you weren't prepared to have a hard conversation. And every great relationship is formed in the crucible of hard conversations. And a hard conversation, by the way, it doesn't have to be an aggressive or a pushy conversation. It could be a very elegant conversation. A hard conversation is just the one you're afraid to have.
That's true.
You're going to find out very quickly where you stand, and you're also introducing an element of, I'm not going to be here forever.
So let's role play. So we're in a level 2 relationship.
Yeah.
And I want a commitment. I'm scared to death to ask you. I don't know how many other people you're dating. We've kind of been in that zone where we're hooking up and we're going out on dates, and I feel like it's vibing, and I don't even know what the language is anymore. That's how old I am. Do we say monogamous? Do we say exclusive? Do we say that we're like dating? Heaven forbid. Is that not a word we use? Like, I don't know. Every time I would say something to my daughter, she's like, that's it. I'm like, okay. I don't know what the terminology is. Anyhow, we're in a level 2. How do I bring this up with you? Can you give me the sentence, Matt?
Yeah. There are different ways to come at this, but I'll give you one way.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I realized I'm investing a lot of kind of time and energy into this, and it's an amount of time and energy and intimacy that I wouldn't be giving if we were still giving it to other people. And I know that I'm not, because it's just not me. And, I wanted to know if you're in the same place. If you're not, that's totally okay. Like, I get it. It's fine. There's no pressure. But if you're not in that place, I need to reevaluate how much I'm giving to this, because, I'm excited to meet someone, that values the same things I do or has the same things in mind that I do. And I want to give my energy to someone who's in that place. And I realize we haven't even had that conversation.
Matt, I am having a great time with you. I feel like I'm on The Bachelor right now. I am having a great time with you, but I just got out of a long-term relationship, and I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'd like to still see you, but this is why these are hard conversations. So
yeah, but that's a very real response, right? So let's keep
okay,
because that's a very realistic response.
Okay.
By a lot of people. You say, look, that's totally cool. I can't keep giving my energy to someone who's not on the same page as me. Like, it's not for me. I know my energy is really precious. I know how much I have to offer someone. And if you're not in that place, it doesn't, you don't need to worry about hurting me, because I'm always going to just do what's right for me anyway. Mm. And as much as I like spending time with you, I value what I want more than that. So I'm going to do my own thing. But, I wish you the best, and you're a great guy, and it's okay. Like, I get it. You're a great person. I hope you find happiness in whatever you do, but I can't keep giving time and energy to someone who wants something different than I do.
There's a couple things I want to pull out that I think are incredibly important that I noticed, and I wonder if it was on purpose. First of all, I loved that you didn't say that you liked me. You specifically said you liked the time that we had spent together. And that left you, like playing the person that's not as interested in the level 2, I'm not ready to go to level 3. Hearing that you liked the time made you seem stronger and more confident because you weren't sounding like, hey, I really like you. Do you like me? And fishing for an answer. And then when you said, you used the word energy. You didn't use the word, I'm looking for a commitment, I'm looking for monogamy. You didn't use those words that feel like you're locking someone down. The way that the coaching went that you just gave us in the script that you can now play and you should repeat in your dating and your relationship life was one where you said, I value my energy and I know myself and I want to put my energy into things that are going somewhere. And so I want to have that conversation because this has been a lot of fun and I enjoy spending time with you, but I want to make sure that, I want to check in with you because I don't want to date a lot of other people.
And
do you see what I'm saying? You
exactly
remained
right.
powerful in that because you weren't actually looking for me to say, I like you back. You were looking for clarification on whether or not this was worth your time. And so that was super important for you listening to understand the nuance of that.
Massively different.
Yes.
Because you're having a conversation about the allocation of an incredibly valuable thing. And you're showing through the conversation how much you value it. I know what I have to give is incredible. Like that's the subtext. I know what I have to offer someone is incredible. So, I'm very careful about who I give that to. This isn't a, how dare you, hook up with me, or how dare we spend any time together if you weren't in the same. It's like, no, it's not. So quickly, I think a lot of people can lose their power that way because they don't take ownership of the time they've invested.
Yes.
Or the ways they've spent time with someone, or even the intimacy. Like you're an adult. If you want to do something with someone, do it, own it, enjoy it. But if it's no longer working for you, then don't go to resentment about the time you've spent. Instead, just take ownership of, I know what I've been giving you and what I will continue to give is incredible. I know it's really valuable. I'm deciding whether this continues to be a good investment of all of that time and energy. And if it's not any longer, that's okay. I'm not turning you into the villain, but
you're also not turning yourself into the loser. Like,
No.
I think here's the thing that's really helpful about level 1, which is, I see that person over there is super attractive, but there's nothing mutual. Level 2, which is this mutual connection and attraction and chemistry. And then if you want to try to go to level 3, which is where you have a mutual commitment, that's where you have to have the conversation and starting to understand for yourself, not where is the other person, but where am I? The second that you start to feel in a relationship where you're giving more than you're comfortable, where you're unsure of where somebody stands, where you're starting to get sketchy about stalking people in terms of legally on their, where they on, or they are on their hinge. When you're doing that, it's time to have the conversation you're avoiding, which is, this is to a point where I got to be clear about whether or not it's worth me investing energy in. Because I think we all know that point for ourselves where we tip into either super clingy, insecure, or sort of like resentful, like anger mode. Yeah. And you don't want to be there because it's not the other person's fault that they don't want to give you a commitment. It's your fault if you continue to show up to something that isn't actually good for you.
And the standard itself can actually be the thing that creates attraction. We think, we ask a lot of questions about how can we create attraction with someone. Well, one of the most amazing ways to create attraction is to have standards and to live by those standards. Let me tell you a story because you're going to love this and your audience is going to love this.
Okay, great.
This is a story from something my own wife sent to me at a time when I was not the heroic, ultra giving one in the situation. Okay. I was the one who was like all over the place.
Okay. By all over the place, you mean like you were like a player, so you're dating a bunch of people at the same time, or what?
We had met in London.
Okay.
I'd like literally come back for a couple of weeks to see family.
Okay.
That was where we met. Then I went back to Los Angeles where I live. We just had a great time together.
So you were level 2.
Very much level 2.
Got it. Okay.
Like deep level 2.
Well, I don't know what that means, but level 2.
Lots and lots of attraction. Absolutely no commitment.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
There is no such thing as deep level 2. Let me tell you why. There's only level 2.
This
You
is
know what I'm
exactly
saying?
the
Like
lesson.
that's it. Like
this
you're
is exactly the
right.
lesson.
You're like letting it be something. It's just
No.
level freaking 2.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So I go back to Los Angeles and we're texting back and forth. We're having some calls. It's still fun. It's still engaging. We're excited to speak to each other. Gradually, I start to fall off.
What does fall off mean?
Like I am not
Look at the
text-
smile. It's like you
Mel's-
dog.
Day by day, my texts got less frequent. I stopped. So probably at some point I stopped calling and started only texting.
Mm-hmm.
Then the texts are less and less frequent. And then I think, I don't know what it was, a couple of weeks, something went by where we'd already been not texting for a while. Maybe a few days went by or a couple of weeks. I can't remember. Audrey probably remembers. But at a certain point, I sent a message that said, it either said, I miss you or I'm thinking of you. She sent me a message I'll never forget. And for every woman out there, take this message and run with it because it is so powerful. It's so amazing. And it's word for word perfect. Now, bear in mind, I just want to stop for a moment. What's the instinct to do in that moment? If you like someone.
I miss you too.
Yeah. Like you just rush of blood to the head, nervous system activated.
Right.
I'm just happy this person reached out and that they're saying something affectionate. Like,
yes.
Oh my God.
And this is for every human being. Like, I don't care how old you are.
Nope.
I don't care like gender, whatever. Like this is, every one of us has that where if somebody's gone silent and all of a sudden you get that little boop, you're like, there it is.
And that, what you just said, is why level 2 is the most dangerous stage. Because the instinct in that moment is to text someone back.
Right.
To fly to see them, to do whatever we can to be with them. But that instinct might be the most dangerous instinct you have in that moment. So she didn't do that. She sent this message back. She said, hey, I hope you're well. To be honest, when I get a message like this from you, I don't really know what to say. So again, that's like, that first line is like confusion. She's pointing out that there's something at odds with my words and my behavior. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I hope you're well. To be honest, when you send a message like that, I don't really know what to say, or I'm not really sure what to say. We haven't really felt that close for a while now. And then she put in parentheses, rightly or wrongly, this message comes across like a bid for attention.
Whoa.
So if you break down that message,
Let's do it.
it communicates so much. And this is why I'm not someone who says like, here's 1,000 scripts, use them word for word, but you have to understand why language matters, because language matters deeply. And if you know why it works, you could say it your way, but why does it work? Well, I hope you're well. So there's still a warmth to that. It's not like, how dare you? Mm-hmm. I hope you're well. Don't wish you any harm. But when you send something like this, I'm not really sure what to say. Why? Because we haven't really felt that close for a while. So it's a little strange, the fact that we've kind of like stopped talking very much. The interactions we have are very superficial, very non-committal. There's not a lot of energy behind them. There's not much thought or intention behind them. They're more and more sparse. And then at the end of all of that, you send, I miss you. That is completely out of sync with everything you have done over the last month or not done. We haven't felt that close for a while now. Now that, again, is exposing the elephant in the room. Because what most people are hoping for in a situation like that, consciously or unconsciously, is that you will not point out the discrepancy between their actions and their words, but you will mirror them. That I'll say I miss you and you'll come back and you'll mirror that.
That's true. We do.
So she's saying, I'm not going to mirror that because that's not where we're at in reality. So I'm shining a giant spotlight on this elephant in the room. So you've got nowhere to hide. And then she said, rightly or wrongly. Now, rightly or wrongly is very powerful language there because it's also humility. She's not bringing ego into it and she's not flaring up my ego. She's like, I might be wrong.
Right.
Maybe I've misread this whole situation, but it looks an awful lot like you're not really trying, you don't want any more, and you want attention right now.
Yes.
It comes across, rightly or wrongly, like a bid for attention. Now, in that moment, I'm called out. So what do you do with that information? Well, it depends on the kind of person you're dealing with. Some people in response to that will love bomb you. Especially an unhealthy person is going to go, now I'm going to get you. So, oh my God, let me call you right now, blah, 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 charm.
Yep.
Like, let me fly out to see you this weekend. Can you come out to see me? Like goes full charm mode. I'm not going to, I didn't do that then, but there was a time in my life where I absolutely would have done that.
And just to be clear, that's still in level 2 because you haven't had the conversation, right? About the commitment.
Yes.
Because they're keeping you in level 2. I love how simple this is. That you're either attracted to somebody which is admiration that is not interested in you, or there's this level 2 dangerous mode where it is all about the attraction and the game there is to keep you in that lane.
100%.
And so you have to know for yourself, which it's very clear that your wife, Audrey, did in that moment, that I'm done with level 2. And the fact that you probably were pulling away made her realize she wanted to have something that was more certain with you if it was going to continue. And she did the thing that most of us don't do, which is she acted consistently with somebody who no longer wanted to be in level 2. She wanted to be with somebody who was willing to go to level 3 and have the commitment. And she is also smart, and I need every one of you listening to hear me. You will stay in level 2 for the rest of your damn life if you're unwilling to have the conversation about level 3.
Because no one cares about your time and your life as much as you. And expecting them to is a recipe for wasting your life. Love is not all you need.
What do you need? I think the mistake that a lot of us make is that we look at a person across from us and we think, even if this isn't up to my standards, I can fix this person, I can twist this person, and that is a tactic that will backfire on you.